用更有趣的方式读懂经济学人头条新闻。本期主题：以色列伊朗战争何时结束？在过去的20个月里，中东局势经历了剧烈的转变。自哈马斯那场造成约1200人死亡的残酷袭击以来，以色列对加沙、黎巴嫩、叙利亚、也门展开了多轮打击。但到了6月13日，一切发生了质的变化。以色列战机首次直接轰炸伊朗本土，这不仅仅是又一次升级，而是一次历史性的转折点，一场危险的新冲突的开始。以色列与伊朗之间的首次全面对抗，这场战争的后果可能深远。正如20世纪的阿以战争重绘了中东版图，改变了全球格局，如今的这场冲突也将深刻重塑整个地区。最紧迫的问题是，这是否会是一场短暂而决定性的冲突，从而为和平铺路，还是一场漫长毁灭的开端，把中东拖入数十年的动荡与暴力？这场冲突的核心问题只有一个：伊朗的核野心。以色列坚信伊朗正加速研发核武器，也许是在与美国谈判的掩护下偷偷推进，尽管西方情报机构态度更为谨慎。但以色列的恐惧真实而深刻。一个拥有核武器的伊朗，可能会像俄罗斯对乌克兰那样，凭借武力恃强凌弱，主宰整个中东。这样的局势还可能引发整个中东地区的核军备竞赛，危及全球安全。在这样的逻辑下，以色列的军事行动显得像是一种严峻的必要，一次为了阻止灾难的先发制人。但战争永远有它的边界，即便以色列成功摧毁了伊朗的核设施，为自身争取了几年喘息之机，它也无法炸掉伊朗几十年积累下来的知识和技术。科学家依旧存在，图纸依旧完整，野心仍会继续燃烧。更具讽刺意味的是，这些袭击很可能会激化伊朗的核冲动，而不是削弱它。那么内塔尼亚胡总理的解决方案是什么？他寄希望于军事压力能鼓舞伊朗人民推翻本国政权，这是一场大胆而不确定的赌博。他认为新政府会更加温和，不那么好战，也不那么热衷于核武器。但革命不是从空中可以发动的，即使真的有新政权上台，也未必会放弃核计划。毕竟，伊朗的核梦想最早并非始于伊斯兰共和国，而是源于巴列维王朝。既然无法根除伊朗制造核弹的能力或意愿，那么以色列能做的也许只是争取时间，延迟拖延，然后等伊朗东山再起时再次打击。这是一场危险的循环，而以色列无法独自承担。这就把问题引到了美国。现在越来越多的人认为美国应该加入。以色列的军事行动不仅仅是威慑伊朗，更是主动出击摧毁其核计划。毕竟美国的军事能力远超以色列，美国的钻地炸弹可以摧毁像福尔多这样深埋地下的重要设施。这种战略可能迫使伊朗更快进入严肃谈判，甚至导致政权崩溃。但这一切伴随着巨大的风险。伊朗的报复可能不再局限于以色列，而是蔓延至整个地区，关闭霍尔木兹海峡，袭击沙特油田，发动全球恐袭。美国平民士兵甚至全球能源市场都将成为目标。一旦战争爆发，其范围与时间将难以控制。更糟的是，即便袭击成功，也无法保证彻底胜利，秘密设施可能依然存在。技术永远不会消失，那么另一种选择是什么？外交，脆弱复杂，让人沮丧，但依然是最不坏的选择。这期呼吁降温，有消息称伊朗也愿意重新谈判。如果一项协议达成，不仅可以拆除核设施，更可以瓦解伊朗发展核武的动机。通过重建一定的信任，外交可以阻止伊朗走上核爆之路。恰恰是战争最有可能催生的路径。这也是为什么特朗普总统2018年退出伊核协议，是一次严重的错误。 尽管那份协议不完美，但它确实设定了限制监督机制和缓冲时间。而现在局势比过去更危险了。特朗普总统如今面临一个关键抉择，他可以选择升级冲突，希望通过压倒性的武力迫使伊朗屈服，也可以选择按兵不动，观察以色列能走多远，看看外交是否还有一线生机。要明确一点，袖手旁观不是选项，但贸然卷入另一场中东战争可能得不偿失。伊朗的核项目不是一场空袭就能解决的，它的野心也不是炸弹能摧毁的。归根结底，我们真正的希望不在炸弹，而在坚韧的外交，以实力为后盾，但以现实为基石，因为战争也许能推迟伊朗的核弹，但唯有外交才能真正让它永远不会被引爆。下面我们来听英文原版视频。
In the last 20 months, we've witnessed a dramatic shift in the Middle East. Since the brutal Hamas attack that took nearly 1,200 lives, Israel has launched strikes in Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, and Yemen. But on June 13th, something changed. Israeli aircraft bombed Iranian soil directly. This was not just another escalation. It marked the beginning of a historic and dangerous new conflict, the first full-scale confrontation between Israel and Iran. The consequences could be profound. Just as the Arab-Israeli wars of the 20th century redrew political boundaries and changed global dynamics, this war too will reshape the region. The urgent question now is, will this be a short, decisive conflict that opens space for peace? Or the first in a long, destructive series that tracks the Middle East in violence for decades? Israel's fear, a nuclear Iran. At the heart of this conflict lies one thing: Iran's nuclear ambition. Israel believes Iran is racing toward a nuclear bomb, perhaps hidden behind the facade of ongoing arms talks with the US. Western intelligence remains uncertain, but the fear is real. A nuclear Iran could dominate the region like Russia does Ukraine, with confidence and impunity. Such a shift could also trigger a nuclear arms race across the Middle East, threatening global security. In this light, Israel sees its military action as a grim necessity, a preemptive strike to halt disaster. The limits of war. But war, as always, has its limits. Even if Israel manages to destroy Iran's nuclear facilities and buy a few years of safety, it cannot bomb away the knowledge Iran has accumulated over decades. Scientists will remain vigilant, closely monitoring developments and adjusting their strategies as needed. Designs will survive. Ambition will smolder. And, ironically, the strikes may strengthen Iran's resolve to go nuclear, not weaken it. So what does Prime Minister Netanyahu propose? He hopes military pressure will encourage the Iranian people to overthrow their regime, a bold and uncertain gamble. A new government, he argues, would be less oppressive, less hostile, and less focused on nuclear weapons. But revolutions cannot be planned from the skies. And even a new regime might pursue the same path. After all, Iran's nuclear dream began not with the Islamic Republic, but with the Shah. What can be done? With no clear path to eliminate Iran's desire or ability to build a bomb, Israel's best option may be to simply buy time, delay, postpone, and then do it again when Iran inevitably rebuilds. This is a dangerous cycle. And it's one that Israel cannot sustain alone. America's dilemma. This brings us to the United States. Many now argue that America should join Israel's efforts, not just to deter Iran, but to actively destroy its nuclear program. After all, U.S. military power far exceeds Israel's. American bunker-busting bombs, for example, could destroy deeper, more fortified targets like Fordow. This strategy could push Iran closer to serious negotiations or even regime collapse. But it comes with enormous risks. Iran may retaliate not just against Israel, but across the region, closing the Strait of Hormuz, targeting oil fields in Saudi Arabia, or launching terror attacks globally. American civilians, soldiers, and energy markets could all become targets. And once war begins, it may be impossible to control its scope or duration. Worse, even a successful strike would not guarantee long-term success. Secret facilities might survive. Knowledge always will. The case for diplomacy. So what's the alternative? Diplomacy, fragile, frustrating, but still the least bad option. The G7 has called for de-escalation. There are reports that Iran is open to talks. If a deal can be struck, it could dismantle not just the facilities, but the incentive to build the bomb. By restoring some measure of trust, diplomacy could prevent the very dash toward nuclear weapons that war might provoke. That is why President Trump's 2018 decision to abandon the Iran nuclear deal was such a costly mistake. Imperfect as it was, the agreement imposed limits, monitoring, and time. Walking away from it has made today's crisis far more dangerous. Final choice: fire or dialogue. President Trump now faces a critical decision. He can escalate, hoping overwhelming force will bring Iran to its knees. Or he can hold back, watch how far Israel gets, and see if diplomacy still has a chance. To be clear, doing nothing is not an option. But rushing into another Middle Eastern war could cost more than it saves. Iran's program is not easily erased. Its ambitions cannot be bombed out of existence. In the end, the best hope lies not in bunker busters, but in courageous diplomacy, backed by strength, yes, but rooted in realism. Because war may delay Iran's bomb. But only diplomacy can make sure it never goes off.
重点词汇
Confrontation refers to an encounter where opposing parties engage directly. Escalation involves the intensification of a conflict or situation. A preemptive strike is an attack launched to prevent a potential threat. To retaliate means to strike back or respond to an action against you. Regime collapse occurs when a government falls, often leading to instability. Revolution signifies a radical change in political power or organizational structures. An arms race is a competition between nations to achieve superior military capability. A military campaign is a coordinated series of military operations aimed at achieving a goal. Bunker-busting bombs are designed to penetrate hardened targets or shelters. Nuclear ambition reflects a nation's desire to develop or maintain nuclear weapons. Diplomacy is the art of managing international relations through negotiation and dialogue. De-escalation aims to reduce tensions and avoid further escalation of conflicts. Negotiation is a dialogue process aimed at reaching an agreement between parties. Disarmament is the process of reducing or eliminating military weapons. International confidence is critical for global security and cooperation among nations. Unilateral action involves a state acting independently without the support of others. The implication of actions can resonate globally, influencing future relations. Deterrent refers to a measure taken to discourage an action or event. Sovereignty is the authority of a state to govern itself or another state. Strategic calculation involves assessing potential outcomes in decision-making. The paradox represents a statement that contradicts itself yet may be true. Incentive refers to something that motivates or encourages someone to act. Accumulated knowledge is the information gathered and built over time. To buy time means to delay or postpone a decision or action. To postpone means to delay an action or event to a later time. Inevitable signifies something that is sure to happen, unavoidably.